One day when he was out walking, he came to an open place in the middle of the forest, and in the middle of this place was a large oak tree, and from the top of the tree there came a loud buzzing noise. Winnie the Pooh sat down at the foot of the tree, put his head between his paws, and began to think. Winnie the Pooh, that buzzing noise means something. You don't get a buzzing noise like that, just buzzing and buzzing, without its meaning something. If there's a buzzing noise, somebody's making a buzzing noise, and the only reason for making a buzzing noise that I know of is because you're a bee. Then he thought another long time and said, Winnie the Pooh, and the only reason for being a bee that I know of is making honey. And then he got up and said, Winnie the Pooh, and the only reason for making honey is so as I can eat it. So he began to climb the tree. He climbed and he climbed and he climbed, and as he climbed he sang a little song to himself. It went like this. Winnie the Pooh singing, Isn't it funny how a bear likes honey? Buzz, buzz, buzz. I wonder why he does. Then he climbed a little further, and a little further, and then just a little further. By that time he had thought of another song, Winnie the Pooh singing. It's a very funny thought that, if bears were bees, they'd build their nests at the bottom of trees. And that being so, if the bees were bears, we shouldn't have to climb up all these stairs. He was getting rather tired by this time, so that is why he sang a complaining song. He was nearly there now, and if he just stood on that branch, Winnie the Pooh, crack! Oh help, said Pooh, as he dropped 10 feet on the branch below him. Winnie the Pooh, if only I hadn't, he said, as he bounced 20 feet onto the next branch. Winnie the Pooh, you see, what I meant to do, he explained as he turned head over heels and crashed onto another branch 30 feet below. Winnie the Pooh, what I meant to do. Of course, it was rather... Winnie the Pooh. It all comes, I suppose, he decided as he said goodbye to the last branch, spun round 3 times, and flew gracefully into a gorse bush. Winnie the Pooh, it all comes of liking honey so much. Oh help. He crawled out of the gorse bush, brushed the prickles from his nose, and began to think again. And the first person he thought of was Christopher Robin. So Winnie the Pooh went round to his friend Christopher Robin, who lived behind a green door in another part of the forest. Winnie the Pooh, good morning, Christopher Robin. Christopher Robin, good morning, Winnie the Pooh. Winnie the Pooh, I wonder if you've got such a thing as a balloon about you. Christopher Robin, a balloon? Winnie the Pooh, yes, I just said to myself coming along. I wonder if Christopher Robin has such a thing as a balloon about him. I just said it to myself, thinking of balloons and wondering. Christopher Robin, what do you want a balloon for? Winnie the Pooh looked round to see that nobody was listening, put his paw to his mouth, and said in a deep whisper, Winnie the Pooh, honey? Christopher Robin, but you don't get honey with balloons. Winnie the Pooh, I do. Well, it just happened that you had been to a party the day before at the house of your friend Piglet, and you had balloons at the party. You had had a big green balloon, and one of Rabbit's relations had had a big blue one, and had left it behind, being really too young to go to a party at all. And so you had brought the green one and the blue one home with you. Christopher Robin, which one would you like? He put his head between his paws and thought very carefully. Winnie the Pooh, it's like this. When you go after honey with a balloon, the great thing is not to let the bees know you're coming. Now, if you have a green balloon, they might think you were only part of the tree and not notice you. And if you have a blue balloon, they might think you were only part of the sky and not notice you. And the question is, which is most likely? Christopher Robin, wouldn't they notice you underneath the balloon? Winnie the Pooh, they might or they might not. You never can tell with bees. I shall try to look like a small black cloud. That will deceive them. Christopher Robin, then you had better have the blue balloon. And so it was decided. Well, you both went out with the blue balloon, and you took your gun with you just in case, as you always did, and Winnie the Pooh went to a very muddy place that he knew of, and rolled until he was black all over. And then, when the balloon was blown up as big, and you and Pooh were both holding onto the string, you let go suddenly, and Pooh Bear floated gracefully up into the sky and stayed there, level with the top of the tree and about 20 feet away from it. Christopher Robin, hooray! Winnie the Pooh, isn't that fine? What do I look like? Christopher Robin, you look like a bear holding onto a balloon. Winnie the Pooh, not like a small black cloud in a blue sky. Christopher Robin, not very much. Winnie the Pooh, well, perhaps from up here it looks different. And as I say, you never can tell with bees. There was no wind to blow him nearer to the tree, so there he stayed. He could see the honey, he could smell the honey, but he couldn't quite reach the honey. After a little while, he called down to you. Winnie the Pooh, Christopher Robin. Christopher Robin. Hello, Winnie the Pooh. I think the bees suspect something. Christopher Robin, what sort of thing? Winnie the Pooh, I don't know. But something tells me that they're suspicious. Christopher Robin. Perhaps they think that you're after their honey. Winnie the Pooh, it may be that. You never can tell with bees. There was another little silence, and then he called down to you again. Winnie the Pooh, Christopher Robin. Christopher Robin. Yes? Winnie the Pooh, have you an umbrella in your house? Christopher Robin, I think so. Winnie the Pooh, I wish you would bring it out here and walk up and down with it and look up at me every now and then and say, "Tut tut, it looks like rain." I think if you did that, it would help the deception which we are practicing on these bees. Well, you laughed to yourself, silly old bear, but you didn't say it aloud because you were so fond of him, and you went home for your umbrella. Winnie the Pooh, oh, there you are. I was beginning to get anxious. I have discovered that the bees are now definitely suspicious. Christopher Robin, shall I put my umbrella up? Winnie the Pooh? Yes, but wait a moment, we must be practical. The important bee to deceive is the queen bee. Can you see which is the queen bee from down there? Christopher Robin. No, Winnie the Pooh, a pity. Well now, if you walk up and down with your umbrella, saying, "Tut tut, it looks like rain," I shall do what I can by singing a little cloud song, such as a cloud might sing. Go. So while you walked up and down and wondered if it would rain, Winnie the Pooh sang this song. Winnie the Pooh, singing, "How sweet to be a cloud floating in the blue. Every little cloud always sings aloud. How sweet to be a cloud floating in the blue." It makes him very proud to be a little cloud. The bees were still buzzing as suspiciously as ever. Some of them indeed left their nests and flew all round the cloud as it began the second verse of this song. And one bee sat down on the nose of the cloud for a moment, and then got up again. Winnie the Pooh, Christopher. Ow. Robin. Christopher Robin. Yes? Winnie the Pooh? I have just been thinking, and I have come to a very important decision. These are the wrong sort of bees. Christopher Robin, are they? Winnie the Pooh, quite the wrong sort. So I should think they would make the wrong sort of honey, shouldn't you? Christopher Robin, would they? Winnie the Pooh, yes. So I think I shall come down. Christopher Robin, how? Winnie the Pooh hadn't thought about this. If he let go of the string, he would fall, bump, and he didn't like the idea of that. So he thought for a long time, and then he said, Winnie the Pooh, Christopher Robin, you must shoot the balloon with your gun. Have you got your gun? Christopher Robin, of course I have. But if I do that, it will spoil the balloon. Winnie the Pooh, but if you don't, I shall have to let go, and that would spoil me. When he put it like this, you saw how it was, and you aimed very carefully at the balloon and fired. Winnie the Pooh, ow! Christopher Robin, did I miss? Winnie the Pooh, you didn't exactly miss, but you missed the balloon. Christopher Robin, I'm so sorry. And you fired again, and this time you hit the balloon, and the air came slowly out, and Winnie the Pooh floated down to the ground. But his arms were so stiff from holding onto the string of the balloon all that time that they stayed up straight in the air for more than a week, and whenever a fly came and settled on his nose, he had to blow it off. And I think, but I am not sure, that is why he was always called Pooh.